Oh no, you hear yourself. You'll get
It's
used to
pretty
it.
tight though. I was in a fire truck one time, and they have the same like system
Why?
because you can't hear
Because
shit.
you can't hear. It's like when you're like on a plane.
Oh,
It's hella loud, but you could hear them talking like hella clear.
why were you in a fire?
Jose, my concuño.
It was like he was
He gave
five.
us a tour.
What's a concuño?
Concuño.
Oh shit. Okay.
Can you
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
please? Did you feel like a little kid? Like, oh my god.
It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in the back seat, but my kid was in the front.
Was it
No,
like-
my kid was in the top because it was those ones that have like the two parts, like the trailer, I guess.
Oh, where there's a guy in the back steering?
Yeah, and that's
Oh.
what he would do. He would be in the back, so Junior was up there with him, and all they do is steer. It's pretty
That's
crazy.
fucking sick, dude. What about a Dalmatian? Do they have a Dalmatian?
Dalmatian.
That was Mario.
What are you talking about?
It's a Dalmatian. Oh, you can't see the difference.
Oh fuck. Oh, hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. Just wanted to, say hi to everybody. Thanks for joining us again. Today we have a really special guest.
Special. Shit.
Yeah, so we got a special guest today. Danny, you want to introduce our guest?
Absolutely. He is one of our good friends. We've been friends for quite a long time now.
2000, probably 13.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's like shortly after
What?
I started with Pilot. No, because I started and you guys left.
I went, yeah.
It was more when you came back.
I came back. Yeah, when I came back. You
And
know
we had a
what?
thing going.
You know what clicked us? You remember when me and you, like, we clicked on right away? You
What
know
was
what it
it?
is.
I just remember when we'd put the order away.
No,
The
okay,
deli
but
order.
there was something about it. You don't remember?
What was it? No.
Adolfito.
Oh yeah, novela.
What is it?
We had a novela. We'd both watch it.
I felt hella gay, and I don't know what came up, and I was like, yeah, I've been watching this novela, and he's like, which one? And I'm like, oh, this one, dude. He's all, it's fucking good on. I'm like, yeah.
Oh shit.
This is before
That shit
Netflix.
was funny, dude.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude. Way before Netflix.
Yeah, so good times, definitely good times. We've all had some good memories, and it had to have been after 2014 or around 2014, because remember you'd get upset and I never invited you to any of my house parties.
Yeah,
I got the house around 2012, so it was like about 2013. So yeah, Mario.
Jesus.
It was more when you guys left and came back.
Yeah.
Because you left too, and when you came back, that's when everything we got a little bit.
No, me and you were pretty like this because I was deli manager and we are putting the order away. Remember?
Yeah.
It was good times, man.
Yeah,
Good times.
good times.
Remember, we'd get an hour lunch. We'd go to deli.
I was telling my crew that, bro, because I have a crew like on Thursday. It's our order crew, and I'm like, last time I bought them sushi, so it was like, damn, we used to like take like an hour lunch and go get Wingstop. Remember that?
Yeah,
one
dude.
of us would go drive, bring a whole order of Wingstop. That shit was
We went to
sick.
Percos a couple times.
Oh yeah.
Percos.
Damn.
We even went to what's that pizza place? Pedro's Pizza and
Chachilla.
Bro,
Damn.
the burritos are bomb there, dude.
Damn, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, good times, man. So Mario, how you doing, man?
Good.
Caught you mid drink.
take a drink.
I was
Take a
about to
drink.
It's
take
okay,
a big
dude.
old swig right
Yeah,
now.
go for it, dude. Deep throat that thing, dude. How's life, man?
It's good, man. It's good. A lot of things have happened in the last 3-4 months.
Yeah, for the good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, changed different career paths. Back on the same one that I was 6 years ago.
So you took a little detour. Let's talk about the little detour. So where were you at about 4 or 5 months ago? What were you doing?
So 4 or 5 months ago, I had my own truck and trailer. I was truck driving for one of my friends in Chowchilla, doing commodities. So I was working, had my own truck, and first I started with my uncle, worked with him for a bit. I went with my other uncle, and then I went back with my uncle again, the first one, and then. But the last year before I stopped, I was doing the same thing. I was always doing the same thing, commodities. But I was with a couple friends from Chowchilla, which I wish I would have went with them from the get go, dude, because they were two solid guys. They helped me out a lot. I was with them for a whole year, and honestly, work was pretty good with them. I don't have no complaints. It's just it got hard at the end, dude. Got too hard to maintain everything. It's expensive. Diesel didn't go down in the last after COVID, it just stayed up, dude.
All right, let's take a step back. So for our listeners that don't know, what is a commodity? What is that?
So commodities is anything that you deliver for like dairies. So all the dairies you see, in the Central Valley, it's like we're one of the biggest for dairies. So everything they eat. So it's like all the grain, and then like the almond hulls, almond shell. I know you guys talked about it on that one podcast. So like the almond, dude, they use it for everything. So the shell is for the bedding, and then the almond hulls, they eat it. So all that, dude. We do all the almond hulls, almond shell, and then grain. So all the grains they eat: canola, corn gluten, rolled corn, whole corn. There's a lot of them, dude. So that's basically what commodity is. You take them. It's for the dairies.
For all the dairies. So you'd make deliveries to all these dairies around Central Valley?
Yeah. Through like from the furthest up north I ever went. Well, I'd go to the port of Stockton. They do one thing we would send overseas, which is pretty crazy, is the almond shell, dude. The almond shell, we'd send it out there, and they would send it overseas. But for a while, we went over there. That's like the furthest north I went, furthest up north, and then down south. Well, I mean, the furthest down south was like Bakersfield, but all dairies mainly. And then for a while too, with my uncle Jose, I was doing delivering compost to the orchards. So that's something my uncle was pretty big on, was compost and chicken manure. That's like one of the things that made him really strong, but then it kind of died out, and that's kind of the reason why I left working for my uncle. But
can we let's start, what got you into trucking? I like how you say trucking.
So I don't know, I never really thought I would start truck driving, honestly, and I probably went to trucking for the wrong reasons. I feel like I went to trucking to search for more money, because back when I was working in Pilot, 2018, that was the year I left. I was working there. No, not 2018. Hold on. 2018. 2018. That was the last year I worked for Pilot, and they just weren't paying me. Like, I was getting paid trash. I was getting paid $15.75 or whatever it was for a manager position, and that's nothing, dude. So I wasn't gonna. My wife was we had 2 kids. We had just had my daughter, and my dad had been truck driving already for probably 8-9 years. So I had him to help me a lot. So, and then my uncle, which is he was our broker, so he'd give us all the loads. So it was just kind of like a thing where my dad's like, oh, well, like, look at these checks I make, and it's good. Come over here, I'll help you out. I'll help you buy a truck. You got work right away, like right when you start with your uncle. And I'm like, all right, fuck it. So in the time that I took my baby bonding, I did it for 6 weeks. Like the first, obviously 3-4 weeks, I was like spending time at home. But then like the last like 2 weeks before I went back to work, I freaking got my license, bro. I got my license. I could have got my license in 1 week, dude.
Damn.
I did one solid week, Monday through Friday. I would go and be there all day, like at the school, because it would be like a group of guys. So then you would drive or do the testing, and then it was the next guy's turn until it was your turn again. It'd be like another 3-4 hours, dude. Like, because there's so many people there. But I put the work in, dude. I'd be there from like 7 in the morning all the way till like 4. So I'd get like 2 shots at the truck, 2-3 times at the truck to practice. And the only reason I didn't do it in a week was because the truck that we practiced on, it wasn't available that weekend for whatever reason. And the guy told me, he's like, hey, I have this other truck. It's like the same thing. I'm like, nah, dude, like I don't feel comfortable driving on another truck. So I just waited till the following weekend to go do it. But yeah, I took that time, my baby bonding, and then I came back and I just let my boss know, like, hey, I got my license. He's like, fucker, I knew you were doing something. And then,
damn.
So that's pretty much what it was, bro. I left for that reason. I needed to make more money, and I did make more money, obviously, than what I fucking was making there. But it didn't last very long.
Okay. So, I mean, well, kind of walk us. I believe now the getting your Class A or your CDL, it's changed, right? You can't get it as soon. You have to actually like put in the hours and go through some type of courses.
I don't know, dude. I've heard that because one of my cousins, the uncle I worked for, his son, for whatever reason, he was getting his license too, and not that he needs to. He was going to school like to be like a doctor, like medical school and stuff. But he wanted to get it, probably just to have it. But anyways, he was doing his trucking school right before those changes were made, dude.
Damn.
And I think he, because of that, like he ended up just stopping. I think he didn't get his license after all. But dude, I'm sure there's loopholes, dude. I'm sure there is, because I don't know. I doubt that everybody has to go through all that, because it's like a certain amount of hours or something you got to do now.
Yeah, I think with what happened to that kid in Colorado, when his brakes kind of went out and he kind of and he killed those innocent people. It just goes to show you that dude was brand new. I think he had less than a year, and they tried blaming it on the kid, but there was just no type of training. You know what I mean? Because I mean, I can pretty much say that, like, hey, I got my license in less than a month, and I did enough to get my license, but I didn't know exactly what I needed to do. I didn't know how to move the
Yeah.
tandems back and what exactly it takes to, going
Dude,
down a
and
hill.
That's crazy because like me, I mean, I got it quick, but dude, I was driving for a long amount of time because before I even went to school, I was practicing with my dad. So like I had the driving down pretty good. On flat ground, because one thing I want to touch on those guys, like, dude, those guys get their license hella fast and they start going up hills and shit. It's like, dude, like you barely even know how to drive down here, and they have them going down hills where it's like a whole nother ball game, dude. Like the first time I did a hill, I still remember it, dude. My first hill was Pacheco Pass. And dude, I was shitting my pants, bro. I was on the phone with my compadre like for fucking the whole time I was going up because I was scared, and I was like fucking hella scared going up that shit. And what I'm saying is like these guys, they get it right away, and they just like they have their license. They're like, all right, go, you're going to fucking whatever state it is, and they got to go up these hills, and it's like, dude, that's kind of.
And tell us for us that never driven a big rig. What's scary about
The hill?
driving in the hill?
Well, dude, it's scary because it's scary going downhill because you got all that weight and that momentum going down where your brakes are not going to stop it. So they have what's called the engine brake or Jake brakes, and that's what you rely on, dude. Like you need that to go down that hill because you got all that weight, and you do not want to use your brakes because using your brakes heats up the disc, and once it heats up so much to a certain point, they don't work. It's just like it's not going to stop at all. So that's why sometimes you see like at the end of a hill, you see all these trucks with their brakes all smoking. That's what it is. It's like they're like basically almost about to catch on fire. But use the Jake brake. What it is, it's you flip a switch and it's like I don't know exactly what it is, but I know what it does. It halts your engine, like it stops your engine. So your engine's just like like I don't know what it is.
So for our listeners, and I'm sure you guys have probably heard this on the highway, but it's like, and sometimes it sounds I don't know. Truck drivers kind of show off sometimes.
For the nice trucks, it sounds like that. For my Volvo, it was like a little bit.
You get what you pay for, but yeah. So I've definitely seen it. What's it called? Where you're going downhill, especially going down Pacheco Pass and stuff.
Yeah. Dude, and Pacheco Pass is pretty scary, dude, because you're going downhill on curves, dude. Like, and that was my first hill, and dude, it was my very first time, and it was raining, dude. And then same thing when I did the grapevine on my truck, it was raining, dude, and I was like, fuck, man. And the only thing rain scares me is because my uncle would tell me, he's like, hey, Equal, don't put your Jake brake on like level 3, like the highest, because supposedly if you're going down and it's raining, it could kind of like make your truck swerve or something. I don't know if that's true or not, but I was just like, that was in the back of my head, and it was raining. I was like, fuck, man. But yeah, you're just scared because you got all that weight, you're going down, you have to stop your truck, and then the thing is too, like on the grapevine, you have to go down a certain speed, so you got to go down at 35 miles an hour. So you have to maintain that speed, and to maintain it, you got to stay in a lower gear. And that's ultimately like what you got to do is stay on a low gear to be able to like maintain that speed. Because if you go into neutral going downhill, you're gonna kill people. Probably.
Oh yeah, dude. And if you miss a gear going down, and then that's it.
That's why it warns you. You'll see all those signs that say like, oh, brake check area or whatever. That means after that it's gonna start going down, and then it will say like use low gear. So that's where, as a trucker, all right, I got to get into the gear that I know I'm going to go down the whole way, because you don't want to switch gears going down. So, in like going down, like the grapevine, I would put my truck in 7th gear, which normally, like out here in 7th gear, you're going about 25 to 30 miles an hour. So that's what you want to go down the hill, and if you need to go 35. So I'd put it in 7, and I would not take it out of 7. It would just stay in there, and I'd put my Jake brake all the way. And every once in a while, so your truck would start like picking up speed, because it still does. You still got all that weight behind you, and you just got to do what's called, I think, stabbing your brakes. So you like basically put your foot like hard on the brake for like till your speed goes back down like 10 miles per hour lower than where you're at, and then you release your brake. So then that puts a lot of stress on your brake, but when you release it, then all the air starts circulating and it cools it back down. You don't want to keep your foot on the brake.
You remembered something from the DMV test.
Dude,
look at you, bro.
That helped me going down both hills, dude. Like, because the truck does go past that, it'll still keep going fast, like even if you have the engine brake on, it just slows it down. But then that helps it bring you back a little bit slower, and then,
Yeah, dude, I had a little scary incident. It has nothing to do with trucking, but I was hauling my camper, and when that green truck that I had one time, I was coming down the hill, dude, and I didn't know about stabbing. This was before I had my license. I think it was anyway. But yeah, I overheated up my brakes, bro, and I was like, holy shit.
A regular car?
Yeah, dude, I was like, holy shit, I can't stop.
I did that on my mom's Honda Civic one time, dude. I went to like one of Andy's games out there in Oakhurst or somewhere. I don't know, up in those hills. And then when I was going down, I was pushing them. And then out of nowhere, dude, they started like freaking vibrate. It's because like with the heat, they get warped.
Yeah.
So then you start to feel like going down. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
and I was new to driving. I was very like, I don't know, probably like 18, 19 years old.
Yeah, dude, it's scary being in a situation where you think you're in control, but then, hey, now you're not. I'm like, oh, shit. But, yeah, it's definitely a teachable moment, you know, or a learnable moment.
Yeah.
So, can you go in depth a little bit on, because you weren't driving for a company, you were driving for yourself. What's the difference between driving for a company and driving for yourself, and how does the business aspect of that, and what did you learn?
Okay, so one big thing about, and that's why I loved my trucking, the years I did trucking, because of that, dude. I was driving for myself, so I had the liberty to be like, hey, I need to take this weekend off, or, you know, and the only person it would affect is me, because I wouldn't get paid for it. That's what sucked about it, because with the company you might have, you know, paid time off or whatever, and, you know, working for yourself, you don't have that. It's just, if you have money to be able to take time off, well, you take time off. So in that sense, being your own owner operator was pretty cool. Bitch, I have a bottle opener.
Popping bottles over here.
But
sorry, sidetrack, guys.
yeah,
Sidetrack.
I mean, I don't know what it's like to drive for a company. I could tell you kind of what it feels like, because when I first started with my uncle, I only had my own truck. I was pulling his trailer. So I guess you can say I'm kind of working for a company, because it's his trailer, and basically what he says goes. I mean, it's his trailer. So a lot of times if I wanted to take a weekend off, I could, but I'd hear shit from him like, oh, morro.
Because the trailer's not
needs
working?
to keep moving, you know, like, because it's true. I mean, hey, if his trailer's parked, he's not making money. He could put it with somebody else that is going to pull, you know what I mean? So I felt a little bit more like stressed to ask for time off whenever I was pulling his trailer. But when I had my own truck and trailer, dude, he would still give me shit, but I wouldn't care as much, you know what I mean? I'd be like, well, fuck, get mad, but
your trailer, your truck.
Exactly. But yeah, so I don't really know what it's like to work for a company, like a trucking company, where, you know, you clock in. I know there's hours, you got to work a certain amount of hours, which could be cool, because working for yourself, I mean, if you want to make money, you got to work, you got to put in hours, dude. There's some like weeks or months whenever, like, it's like during the season, the almond season, the compost, all that, dude, I'd be putting in like 16, 17 hour days. Getting, you know, I'd leave like at 4 a.m, get back home to like freaking 8 p.m, 9 p.m. So, but that's when you make fucking money, dude, you know? But so with company, it's probably different. You got to work a certain amount of hours. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's basically what it is. You have your own truck, your own trailer, but you're in charge of everything, dude. The diesel, you pay it. The insurance, you pay it. The permits, you pay them. What else? With trucking,
tires, maintenance,
tires, brakes, everything, dude. Everything you could think of, it falls on you. So
How about the biggest thing, diesel? Like how more?
So let me give you like a little insight on that. So, okay, I'm just gonna say, like, gross, probably, like, me, as much as I worked, I made like $225. Like, that's like not what I would take home. That's like what I would get paid my 1099.
Damn,
So
$225,000.
Yes,
that's
but
for the business.
Yes, you know how much of that was diesel? Around the
115.
ballpark? So before COVID, diesel was a little bit cheaper. It would be about like 70 to 80,000.
Oh fuck. Okay.
After COVID, dude, it was like 1 to 115, dude, of diesel.
So more than 50%,
Bro, it's
or like 50% of.
Damn, dude, like,
that.
yeah, dude. So, I mean, yeah, you get these big ass checks and shit, and then it's like, bro, but if you, at the end of the day, at the end of the year, you run all your numbers, it's kind of like, what the fuck? Like, you know, I made like fucking, I took home probably like 70, 80. It's like, dude, all that work I put in, like, is it really worth it? Like, you know what I mean? So you start thinking about that, and that's when you're having your own business a little tougher, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, you're working for yourself. But
Yeah.
I mean, you have to take on those extra costs, right?
Yeah. One thing that was cool, though, I mean, you get these big checks, so you could, like, I guess it's good in a way, but in a way it's kind of not. But you get like a fat ass check, and you could be like, oh, well, like, for example, I'm put like a simple example. Back in the day when I worked for Pilot, like back then on my Mustang, I had a Mustang and a fucking tire. To buy tires, right? I'd buy like 2 at a time because, you know, I couldn't afford to buy all 4. So I'd buy 2 at a time, and then when those went, I'd flip them to the back, buy 2 new ones, you know? And trucking, I could drop like $1-2 on tires for my car or my truck, and it wouldn't really hurt as much. So, but then at the same time, you spend that, and then you're like, fuck. Then you're scratching for all your bills and your maintenance and all this at the end of the month. So it's kind of like it's a good thing, but it kind of isn't, because then you kind of like you could blow your money and you're like, oh shit, like, you know, I need more money for diesel or this and that to end the month or whatever.
Okay, so we're kind of talking about the negatives when it comes to the trucking. We touched a little bit on the whole positives, kind of being able to make your own schedule when you need time off. But what are other like positives when it came to the trucking side of business?
Damn, dude. I mean, I could say, I mean, the main positive, dude, is like making your own schedule, dude. I can't really think of anything else, just because it was pretty cool to be like, all right, yeah, you know, I never worked a holiday, like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, never, dude. Like, I was always off on Sundays, so that was probably the main thing, dude. That like, and now I'm starting to see, like, because I'm gonna work this next Christmas and Christmas Eve.
Oh shit.
So I'm like, fuck. I'm all telling everybody at work, I'm like, man, I haven't worked a Christmas or Christmas Eve in probably like fucking 10 years. Because even right before I left, when I was working at Pilot in Patterson, I think I was off on the holidays. So it's gonna be weird to be at work on those days. But I did adjust my schedule though. So I'm gonna go in early on New Year's Eve, and I mean Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day I'm gonna go in later. So I still have a little bit of leniency.
It's a give and take situation. It sounds like, right? It's like, hey, you wanted to get away from the stress that you kind of were dealing with the whole trucking industry, but hey, in order to get away from the stress, you need to give something up, right?
Yeah, and it's kind of hard too. Like, I mean, like now, like, you know, back then, truck driving, like, yeah, I'd work these long hours and all that, but at the end of the day, dude, I'd come home every night, see my kids before they went to bed sometimes, because sometimes I'd get home and they'd be in bed already, but most of the time I'd get home, spend an hour with them or whatever, have dinner at home. Oh man, I loved having dinner at home. I miss that. Have dinner at home every night. Like, my wife would make dinner. So, you know, that was kind of cool about it. And then now it's kind of like, oh, fuck, dude. Like, I'm only at home probably like for dinner, probably like what, 3 days and 3 or 4 days. And it's on the weekends. So it's like, yeah. My wife doesn't like to cook on the weekends, bro. Yeah.
So what are other, cons would you say is for trucking? I know we touched a little bit on it, but is there anything else that you might have to add when it comes to that?
Other than just expenses, I mean, not really. I mean, one thing that I'm starting noticing a lot, like before I would trip on, there's this app. It's called Commodity Haulers of Central California, something like that. So all the commodity haulers are on there, and they're always all scared about DOT and the carb is set up over here, like you can't go around the scale or blah blah blah, right? And I remember back then I'd be looking at it like, damn, where they at? You know, like, I wonder if they're stopped on the 43 because I'm going to pass by there. You're worried about that, you know, because they could look at your truck, and if something's wrong, well, then a fine or a ticket or whatever. So you're worried about that. And now I'm like, I'm at work and I'm seeing that. And I'm like, fuck, glad I don't have to worry about that anymore. Because that was something that would scare me, dude. And especially on my white truck, because I didn't have a filter on it. So the carb could give you like I heard those tickets are like 15 grand, dude, if they catch you without your filter.
Oh, damn.
15 to 20 grand is what I heard. And my dad right now, dude, he don't have a filter on his. So my dad's kind of the same way. He's like, fuck. He's ready to tap out.
And what's your dad's name in social?
Huh?
Hey, no, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, I kind of think about that too. Kind of working the safety clean, because I'd kind of get near the scale, and I'm just like, oh, I'm glad I don't have to deal with that anymore. But I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's part of the job, man.
Yeah, it's part of it. And if your truck's good, dude, you shouldn't have anything to worry about. That's what a lot of guys say, and it's true. I mean, your truck's not always gonna be good. You know, there's times where you're like, you know, like I might need tires, but you're like, I don't have the funds to put them yet, so I'm kind of letting it ride 1 month more or whatever. Yeah. And that month is when you're fucking shitting your pants.
I just want to add one thing. Even if you're a company driver, I don't know how it's like at other companies, but when I worked at Safety Clean, hey, that truck is your responsibility. If it's your, you know, you got to do the pre-inspection, the post-inspection. So it's like, hey, if it needs tires and you get stopped by a, you know, CHP or whatever, and they're like, hey, you know, there's something wrong with it. Why didn't you note that on the DOT? It's like, yeah, the company will pay for it, but if you don't catch that, that's on you. So you just got to make sure you're very thorough with, you know, whatever the process is, whatever the process might be. So it's just like, I know you make it sound like, oh, hey, if you're owner operator, you got to go through it. No, you got to do all that stuff when you're a company driver too. So it's just being a trucker. There's a lot of responsibilities when it comes to that, man.
Yeah.
Mario, before you switched over back to pilot and made that career change, was there a possibility to stay in the trucking industry to work for a company? And why didn't you go that route? Why did you go to pilot?
Like become a company driver?
Correct. Yeah. Like why didn't you seek out working for a business somewhere else instead you went to pilot?
Yeah,
What was the motive
I
behind
did
that?
try, dude. I did try because I mean, ultimately, like you feel like with your license, you already have it. You might be able to make a little bit more money, you know, than going to something else. But and I tried it. I applied to. I guess I was kind of picky too, though, because a lot of these companies you go to work from, you're not gonna have a Monday through Friday. You're not gonna have a good schedule. You know, you're probably gonna be working nights. But so I guess I was kind of picky about it. But I tried, dude. Even like there's a milk company here in Tulare. Like it would have been perfect, and their hours I think were like 3 a.m. to 3 p.m. or 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. So like I didn't think that was too bad. Like either one would have been kind of cool, you know. But I applied and I just didn't hear back. And but yeah, I applied to multiple ones, dude. I applied even there's like a gravel company here in Visalia, and I actually had an interview with them and everything. But the pages, dude, they're offering 21 something to start. I was like, what the fuck, like. You know, just I wasn't gonna make it with that. You know, I knew, and that's one thing. Like, I had to make a certain amount. I didn't have the ability to be like, well, I could go somewhere where they were gonna pay me 22, 23. Like, nah. Like, I had like a number where it's like I gotta make this to make ends meet. You know. But I even applied for the city of Visalia too, and just I did the testing and all that, but at the end it didn't work. It didn't work out. I didn't get an interview until later, whenever I had already fucking agreed to go to pilot. They wanted to interview me, but then I was like, oh, well, how much you guys gonna pay me? Because they offered me something over there and they told me a number, and I was like, nah, that number's not gonna work. Yeah, so in the long run, probably the city would have been the better option, because, you know, a city job, can't go wrong with it. But there was still a lot of things I had on my mind, you know, like if I did go to the city, like I could have went and interviewed and seen what's up, but you know, I'm the colorblind guy, by the way, if anybody's wondering.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We
So-
didn't even
We were gonna get
introduce you
to that.
as
We were
yeah.
gonna get to that.
That's one thing that scared me too, to make a change, because like with truck driving, dude, you have to renew your DOT medical card every 2 years to keep your license active.
All right, so go a little bit in detail. Like, what exactly do you have to do when you have to renew it?
Okay. So every 2 years you got to do your it's like a medical exam. It's like a basic medical exam to make sure that you're fit to like be a truck driver, I guess. Like, you know, you don't have freaking heart problems or something that's going to be like an issue on the road, right?
So like a physical.
A physical. Yeah, a basic physical. So, but yeah, I would hear a lot that well, when I first started doing those, because I did them every 2 years, so I was truck driving for what, like 6 years. So one time that I had to do it, I don't remember who told me, if it was Santi or somebody. They did it in a clinic in Madera, and I think I went, and they would do like a colorblind test there, dude, as part of your physical. Like they would go, like it was like a more in-depth physical. So I was like, nah, fuck that. So I didn't go to it. I had to find another spot, and then I ended up finding a spot that my dad goes to off of Herndon, where it's like it's a little bit like,
It's a little trailer.
yeah, that little trailer.
Some of you all know
Why does
what trailer we're
everybody
talking
know?
about.
Yeah, so they're a little bit more laid back, I guess you can say. I mean, they still check all your, you know, your blood pressure, your vision, like for the letters and stuff, your hearing. But for the colors, let me tell you guys a story. So, bro, every time I would go do it, I don't know why, my heart would be pounding, bro, because I'd be like, damn, what if this one day they fucking ask me about colors and I don't fucking know them, and they don't give me my 2-year renewal, right? So I like this time, it was the first time I went with them, and my heart was just like boom, 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 fucking shaking. And then I go in there, and they're like, yeah, you know, you do all your stuff, and they did my blood pressure, and it came out like high. My heartbeat was hella high, which I knew it was. And they're like, what's wrong? Like, are you nervous? I'm like, yeah, I'm a little nervous. And the guy was like, oh no, don't be nervous, man. Like, he kind of made me feel better. Like, he made me feel more calm. And then he's like, let's try it again. And I was like, all right. So like the second time, like everything was normal. So I was like, all right, cool. And then after that, they did the color thing, dude. And the way they have it there, dude, it's like a little square paper with like, let's say 30 different squares, different colors, right? But they only have 3 colors outlined in black. So those are the only 3 colors they ask you for. So obviously, what colors do you think they fucking ask you for?
The primary colors, right?
Red, green, and yellow. The colors of the semáforo, bro.
Yeah.
The colors of the light, right? But my dumb ass, for whatever fucking reason, was just overthinking it. And the first one she pointed at was green, and I said it was orange. So...
Oh, by the way, yeah, this is the guy that would fuck up all the Pringles in the fucking pilot.
Oh,
so,
I
yeah.
have a story. I have a story.
said-
I have a story.
we'll get
Wait,
to
yeah, I
that.
have a
I said it
story.
was orange, bro, and I was like, orange, and then I was hella nervous, bro. I said orange. She's like, orange? She looked at me like I was fucking retarded. I was like, nah, green. And they're like, oh, okay. And they're like, this one yellow, this one red. I was like, all right. And I'm like, fucking idiot. Like, you should have known, dude. Like, they're only going to ask you for the 3 colors, right? So then every time after that, dude, like I went there three different times. So in the second time, same thing, bro. And they asked you for those 3 colors. And I read, like, up close, I could tell them apart, like, really easy, right? But then there's that one time I went for the second time, I noticed that they were asking other drivers for the colors that are below the letters. So have you guys ever been to the DMV where you ask, read me the line 1, right?
Uh-huh.
So below that, there's also 3 lines that are colored.
Yes.
There's a red, green, and yellow.
Damn, never noticed it.
And when I went that second time on another driver, they asked him about those lines, what color those lines were. They didn't ask him on the little square booklet that I'm talking about. So I was like, damn, bro, like that's a lot harder because on that one, it's from far away.
Yeah, but do you know why they do that? When they have glasses. When their license says they need
Glasses?
Restricted with
to see the
glasses.
color?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So notice how it's just a thin line, right?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, anyways, that made my heart pound for the third time I went. So the third time I went, I was like, hopefully they don't fucking make me. And I went on Google looking up all the fucking, all the looking up all of them. Like they were every single one was in the same order. So I was like, all right, now I know it's always like green, red, and yellow. Because green and red look the same to me, bro, from far away.
Green
on
and
that
red.
on that cartucho, like on that fucking, I don't know, what do you call it, cardboard, whatever the fuck.
The layout, yeah.
On that layout, like the red and the green from far away, they look exactly the same, dude.
What color is that fucking Powerade?
Red.
Oh, okay.
Well, because he tasted it.
Yeah,
he knows it's
I
fruit
know,
punch.
right? He knows it's
I
not.
cheated. It says fruit punch right there.
All right, but hey, okay,
fucking
so
wonder.
So
when you get closer to the object, you can notice the difference of the
on
colors.
some colors, yeah, like on that, yeah, I could see.
Not
like
the Pringles.
Not the
No, not the Pringles.
Not the Pringles.
He would read it.
Yeah, I would
Oh,
read
that's
sour
right.
cream and onion and cheddar. I got tricked by those.
Salt and vinegar, bro. You forgot the blue one. You'd always fuck up the blue one.
Nah, the blue one was easy.
Oh yeah,
It was just that green and orange one. It was green and orange, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, it was the sour cream and onion and the fucking cheddar. I'd always have to look at the letters on that.
Okay, so I mean,
Okay, I was talking about the medical card. Yeah, they just do a basic test, and if you pass everything, like your blood pressure, your vision, all that, they give it to you for 2 years. So the doctor basically signs it, like, all right, he's good for another 2 years. So and he gives you that. You take that to the DMV. You take that to the DMV.
fucking Homer
Fucking
Simpson
damn,
over
you're
here.
nasty, bro. You take that to the DMV, and then you basically turn it in, and they renew your license. So then you're good for another 2 years. And when those 2 years come up, they'll send you a reminder, like, hey, it's going to expire, and you just got to go back and do the same thing again to keep your license active.
So, do you have to renew any of your endorsements that you have?
I don't know, bro. So when I first got my license, my dad, dude, he got all his endorsements, like all of them except the hazmat. He got his triples, doubles, all those, and I didn't do the triples and doubles. I was like, dude, when the fuck am I ever going to use them? So I didn't do them, which I should have, because it's just a 25 question fucking exam. But I ended up doing the tankers and beer. Sorry. I ended up doing the tankers, and every time I had to renew my license, I didn't have to retake them, dude. But this last time I had to renew my license, I think it was in 2021 or 2022. I had to renew it, and they were asking me to fucking to take all my exams, bro. It made me shit my pants. And I think the reason they asked me to do it was because my dad has had his license for fucking 12 years now. He's never had to retake all his exams.
Oh, damn.
So I was like, dude, I just got my license. Like, why the fuck am I having to retake it, right? Well, the conclusion we came up with was that a while before that, like that year before, I fucking I got like not an accident, but I did like hit a poste.
Sounds like an accident.
Yeah, I hit a poste, so it came on my record as an accident. So I think that's what it was. Like when you get tickets, they probably have you retake all your shit.
So endorsements, are those just like special permissions to do
certain things. Yeah. So the ones I know of, it's the tanks. So to be able to haul anything that has a tank, like like to haul the liquid, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that endorsement, and basically it's just 25 questions asking you, like, you know, safety for a tank, like, because with the tank, you know, it has the liquid in it, and it just tells you, like, oh, take the turn slower because the liquid can move side to side, and that's how they tip over. Or like there's some that are smooth bore, which they're just hollow on the inside, and the liquid moves front and back. So all the ones that are food grade are going to be smooth bore, so the liquid moves. So like all the milk guys, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but if you're behind one, at a stop, sometimes you see their truck kind of move, and it's because of that. The milk is moving front and back. So there's that one, and then there's the tankers, the doubles and triples. I mean, that's self-explanatory. You want to haul doubles or triples. Then there's the hazmat. What else is there, Ed? Help me.
That's pretty much
hazmat,
it.
right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But once you start getting into like construction and stuff, you can do the heavy loads and stuff. Yeah. But you have to get permits and stuff like that. You have to get approved through the company and stuff. But for us, like, I got all my permits, and the only ones that were available were, excuse me, tankers, triple doubles, hazmat. And yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. And whenever I did mine, I only got the tanker, and the only reason I got the tanker was because one of my uncles, not the one I started working with, another one, he had a business for tanks. So I was like, maybe, you never know, I could go work for him, and I did for like 3 months. So that's why I got the tankers, and I got to see what it was like. And
yeah, man, you gotta dip your toes into something. You never know if you're not gonna like it if you haven't tried it for a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my motto right now. Kind of trying to different career paths and kind of see if I like it. If I don't like it, hey, cool. I can always get something different.
Yeah.
And it kind of seems like what you've done in your career path that you've kind of chosen and stuff. So yeah, man. So when it comes to like getting your license, or I'm sorry, doing the medical exam, after that you're good to go, right? You're back on the job like nothing ever happened.
Yeah, you're good. Your license is able to renew, because if you don't take it, they'll just send you like a fucking letter from the DMV, like, hey, you haven't renewed your license. Like, if you don't do it within so many days, it's gonna get suspended. So then they'll suspend your Class A part until you turn that in. Like this last one, I did it hella late, bro. I did it like a month late.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So, but you do it, and it's like you're back. It's fine.
Yeah, because as a company driver, there's no like, okay, you got to do it like
on time.
Yeah, like 2 months before. Because if not, then yeah, I don't know. At least for me, because we did hazmat and stuff. If your stuff gets delayed, then you have to get retrained all over again. So they don't want to lose 4 to 6 months retraining. Yeah,
because like me, dude, it was probably like a month that I hadn't done it. I was still driving though, but I imagine if I would have got pulled over, I would have probably been. I would have probably got a ticket, because it was probably showing in the DMV that it wasn't like active,
Yeah. Okay.
So do you remember the story that I'm going for? Do you remember when we worked together? We played kind of security at the pilot, even though we shouldn't have. I don't know why we did.
Cops and robbers?
I know.
Yeah, we I don't know why we got a fucking like a thrill of it, or something. It's like adrenaline or something.
I still carry it with me, bro. I'll tell you guys. Remind you. Tell you a little story at pilot. So recently.
So you remember like the I guess we kind of had like a thing that we would do. So like Mario was always good at knowing of who was stealing.
Profiling him.
Bro, this motherfucker ran upstairs like, no. Fucking, he like pushed me off the computer.
Dude, no, for real. So he's like, there's somebody stealing. So he would run to the fucking computer, and he would look at the cameras, and then he would send somebody else into the cooler.
That's what I was going to say. That's the spot right there, bro.
And then once so somebody's in the cooler, and you're looking through the fucking like Cokes and the Dr. Peppers and the Sprites and all that shit. You're looking through it. And then you're on the radio, and they're like, he shoved it in his pants. We got him. So then there was like people on both exits, and these people would walk out. So anyways, there's one particular time where this lady was stealing fucking glasses, some stupid glasses. And then, do you remember?
Yeah, the car. Yeah.
I just want to add something. I had to count his fucking glasses, bro, and those fucking they were glasses, always missing, bro.
Jeez. So we see her shove the glasses into her like fucking shirt or some shit like that, or her bag, and here Mario and I were going outside, and he's all, call the sheriff. So like I'm on the phone and
for glasses.
For fucking glasses, exactly. So I'm on the phone, and I'm like, I'm calling them. They're like, we're at the pilot truck stop in 18 and a half. We have some people stealing some glasses. Stupid. And then Mario's like going after her, like, hey, give me those fucking glasses, bitch, and all this shit. Like, so then they're telling me, can you give me a description of the vehicle? And I'm like, yeah. And then Mario's like, yeah, it's like this fucking car or whatever. And I'm like, oh, it's this car. And they're like, okay, what color is it? And I'm, Mario, what color is it?
Oh my God.
Mario's like, I don't know, red.
And that's why I'm not an officer today. That's why I'm not a police officer.
So yeah, that's the story I have. That Mario. That's when I really
color
knew.
was, and there's nobody next to me that I could be like. Because Danny, I think you were like inside or like at the door, so you couldn't see the car.
It was already like
on the radio.
It was in the evening already.
I remember I was in the street like close to Wendy's, like
Yeah, because she parked at Wendy's or something like that.
But I was like, oh shit, that shit might be green, brown, red. I do not know.
I that's the moment I realized when Mario was like, Mario really had a colorblind problem.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that one part of the movie from The Hangover. He's like, I got dark gray, light gray. He's like, what? I have red, blue, and yellow. He's like, oh, fuck, I'm colorblind. Oh, God, Jesus. Mario. Shit, dude. Good times there,
Can I say my story?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so the cooler is like the best spot to catch people because let me tell you why. In a lot of the stores, I don't know if they set it up this way, but they're like the aisles are like perpendicular. No, is that how you say it? To the cooler. So like basically, this is the cooler and
they're adjacent. Like, oh, okay, yeah. So you're looking at the aisle runs
against the cooler, I guess.
Not against the cooler, but like if you're walking through the cooler is like long ways. If
you're in the cooler and you're looking towards the aisles, you can see through every aisle. It's not, you don't really have a blind spot. So the cooler is the best spot because all the shelves in the cooler are like aiming downward. So you're looking down at the suspect. You're looking down at them and they can't see you because when they look at the cooler, they don't have a view of the inside. They're looking straight, so they, I don't know if that makes sense, but they can't see you. You're fucking spying on them, and they don't see you. So, bro, like the other day, I was at where I work now in Avenal, I had just clocked in too, bro, and I walked, and I just have a niche, bro. Like you could kind of tell, when people are like, probably gonna steal. So I looked at this guy. He was they're always in the Chargers aisle, and he was like bending over, looking all like fucking. He was hella interested. I was like, oh, this bitch ain't trying to buy nothing. So I kept an eye on him, walked away. I kept going, but I had it in the back of my head. Walked back, and he was still there. And I was like, So let me go in the cooler because, that's when they fucking steal, when they know nobody's looking. So I go into the cooler, and I look at him, and he has a charger in his hand, a little cable. I'm like, please put that shit in your pocket, bro. Put that shit in your pocket. And no, nothing. Like, they'll go from aisle to aisle, bro. So you have to be quick in the cooler. You have to move side to side, like fucking following them and shit. And sometimes it's hard because the cooler's like fully stocked. So you're like fucking hella angling your head to be able to see. And anyways, this guy is fucking, I lose him, right? I'm like, fuck, dude. So I go outside and I don't see him, dude. I'm like, fuck, man. He took that fucking charger. And I'm like, hey, I'm telling Dustin, my GM, I'm like, hey, did you see this guy? No, nothing. I'm like, fuck, man. So when I see him come inside from he was outside. He came in, dude, again, and he went to the men's restroom. I was like, let me go to the restroom. So I go over there, and he's taking a leak, and I like look at his pocket, see a little tip of his wiener, but then I was just trying to look at his pocket, and then I don't see the charger, so I'm like,
you stealing that hot dog right there.
So then I go back out, and I'm like, whatever, right? And then he goes back to that charger aisle. So I'm like, all right, bitch. So I go into the cooler again, and I fucking see him actually put it into his waistband. So I'm like, got him. And fucking right away on the radio, I'm like, hey, Dustin, I got this motherfucker. He just put it in his waistband. He's like, who? And I'm like, should we get him right now or like till he walks out the door? But I'm thinking like, fuck, if he like, I'm already like about to run after him. He's probably going to put it away. So I'm like, I just want to catch him. He has it in his fucking waistband. So I'm like, this fool right here. So I go up to him, and me and Dustin both go up to him, and I'm like in front and shit. And I'm like, and then right away he sees us, and he's like, hey, bro, can you help me find this charger right here? I'm looking. I'm like, which one? This one? And I kind of play along for a little bit, but then I'm like, what about the one in your waistband? And he's like, oh, he pulls it out all fucking retarded, and he's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here, bro. You ain't trying to buy no fucking charger. So we kick him out, and then I'm like, let me see your pockets because you had another charger on you, the other little one I was talking about, and then. He empties his pockets, bro. Has nothing. He just drops like a bunch of half-smoked cigarettes on the floor. I don't have nothing. I was like, get the fuck out of here. And we throw him out and shit. But I was like, fuck, yeah. And my boss was all fucking wet. He's like, oh, good job, Mario. Great job on that. Because I hadn't caught nobody at that store yet. We don't really get a lot of thieves there, dude. Honestly, we really don't. And the only thing that people probably do steal there is beer because it's positioned. It's like in the worst spot ever, dude. It's like. It's at a blind spot of the cash register, and it's like right by the freaking exit of the diesel island. So they could easily like walk to it, open the door, get in, and like walk out. and we
Yeah,
wouldn't see
dude,
it.
I have seen it where it's on the fucking hallway, huh?
Yeah, it's like on the hallway, and it's
Dude, it's fucking
so I'm sure there's
retarded.
still a lot of fucking beer there, but I mean,
You can't control that though. Fuck
yeah,
that.
nah, yeah. It's only when I see it. When I see them that they're suspicious, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get it. If I feel like they can't kick my ass, if they kick my ass, I'll be like, oh, I don't see nothing.
Yeah, that's
Pick your
fucking-
battles.
Yeah, no, for sure, dude. I mean, I think we can all say that. Looking back at it, you're like, oh, that was fucking stupid. Like, oh, sunglasses. But it's something about them stealing from us, especially like being on the shift. It's like you take it personally, you know. And I know it probably sounds stupid to all the listeners, like that's retarded. It's like $5 pair of glasses, but
It's you're right, because now that I'm not there, I'm like, that was stupid.
yeah,
But now if somebody's in my ranch and they're stealing shit from me,
same thing.
I would go after them
Yeah.
too. I would be like, I'm gonna fucking get you.
It kind of just makes you feel a little stupid, like taken advantage of, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you don't do nothing, they probably know that you know, but they're like, oh, this fool sucks. We come back and steal again.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You did
And
it
they'll
once.
just
What
go
makes you
back
think they won't do it
easily,
again?
you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, that's so true, dude. But I have a story. I don't know if we should say this one, but this is the one. Remember the I don't want to say money laundering
Is
incident.
it mine?
Yeah,
Oh, it is mine.
that was probably the biggest one that I was.
They
just
got
like,
you on that?
Oh, we caught somebody, man, but I almost died.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
wait,
don't remember
what?
this?
No. Wait, the
I'll let
money.
you
Are
explain
you
it.
talking about the one where they're like, "Oh, give me change for a 50," and they do that,
Yeah,
or no?
no.
But it was like
I
more.
remember they got Amber for like fucking $800 or something like that
Oh shit.
Oh damn.
for
dude.
that one. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The whole.
They switch money. Oh,
Oh.
no, give me change for this.
Yeah.
Oh no, give me that.
Oh, yeah.
Money. What else? What was it?
No, this one was more of the. They were like giving us fake bills, and
They were. Let's say it was let's just say it was a $50 bill, but when you put it up to the light, everything, like, you know, some of us that work cash registers under, like, you know, you check the president under the light
or the little line.
You also use the pin.
Yes.
You touch the coat.
I can't use the pen because I'm colorblind.
Oh, you're right. Damn, that
You know what I
sucks,
do?
dude.
Sorry, I cut you off, but
That's
you know
fine.
another. I'm gonna throw the ridges on the shirt.
The
That's
coat,
what he
yeah,
said.
the coat.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
that's what he
okay.
said.
All right,
Yeah.
keep going. Keep going.
So
You
know,
can't hear either. Fucking listen.
But there's also what. So what Danny was getting to was they would wash the $10 bills and make them into $100 bills.
50s, 100s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they would be like the legit paper.
Oh,
Every-
So they
zero?
had the lines. They had everything.
but with a different president.
Yes.
Different president, and also when you know how you have that blue line. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about, right?
yeah.
That blue line. You know how it says like $10, $5, $50. Well, it would say like $5, but it was a $50 bill.
Yeah.
Danny was like, "Oh man,
No,
Abraham
no,
Lincoln's
no.
on the $100 bill now."
No, we caught on. We caught on.
Because
We-
it had happened, I think.
Yeah, it happened like maybe 3 or 4 times where we're like, hey, somebody was like, hey, this is a fake, clearly. And yeah, so we looked at the camera, see whose till it came from, and then we found out who it came from. Cool, great. So I remember I was on the shift. Danny wasn't even fucking working.
I wasn't even working. I don't know why. It was back in those days where you would just go to hang out. It was so stupid. Like,
Yeah.
you would, because you would do it too.
Yeah. And I think we'd pick up our checks on Thursday or some shit.
Yeah.
And
Oh, pickup checks. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's past my time.
yeah,
Damn.
dude.
Oh, you
Yeah.
never got to pick up a check?
90s or what?
Oh, dude, you would pick up your check and they would cash it for you right there at the cash
Yes.
register, bro.
Are we talking about pilot or what are we
I
talking about?
swear to God, dude.
What
Yeah.
the
Bro, it was early days. Yeah.
And so anyway, so Danny came, like he lived down the street, you know? So he came in or whatever, and then he saw him in the fucking parking lot. Fucking gets on the walkie-talkie. Hey guys, they're here. The people that are, bro.
He had a walkie-talkie
So
already.
so hold on. Okay, so
On
let's
his day off?
let's on my day off. I probably did.
like,
You probably walked in there.
His glove compartment, bro. He just opens a glove compartment and his
it's me,
fucking
it's me.
Mustang. Yeah.
All right, no, so I was hanging out there for some fucking strange reason, and I think this guy had got somebody, and I already recognized the
Yes.
guy. So when I pulled in, I saw them, and then I was like, okay, that's their vehicle. So I went in there, and I was like, these guys are from the other day. So I don't know. They went in there and they were getting somebody. I knew that they were getting somebody, and freaking luckily, I don't know how. I don't know why, but a CHP pulled up to pump gas, and it looked like it was probably the end of his shift, and I'm like, I went over to him and I'm like, hey, I know it doesn't look like that I work here, but I work here. I'm like, can you help us out? Because somebody's trying to pay with like fake money, and I'm like, and he's like, oh, fuck, he's like, all right. He's like, yeah, okay. He's like, what do you need me to do? And I'm like, they're inside right now. Like, let's get them. And he's like, are they driving? And I'm like, yeah, they're driving. He's like, where's their car? I'm like, you see that car right there? I'm like, it's that one. He's like, all right, hold on. So he put his car right behind their car. Just he parked it right there. And then he's like, okay. He's like, show me where they at. So this whole time we went in there, and then Big Mama and Mikey, I think, and there's a bunch of people out there. They were like, they saw me going with the cop, and they're like, these fucking kids are stealing. They're giving us money with it. So these guys caught on. They asked somebody else, hey, can you buy cigarettes? I forgot my ID. Yeah. They gave them the money, and those fucking kids went in there, and they're like, yeah, they're like 21-year-olds or 20-year-olds, and they're like, yeah, I'll buy it for you. Like, just purchased it. Well, they didn't know they were using that money.
Oh, shit.
So somehow they noticed that the cop was there, and it was like a group of 3. They spread out. I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know what the fuck, but I'm like, oh, Mr. fucking security over here. Let me go around the fucking property.
Yeah, bro.
By myself while everybody is like dealing with this shit. So I go through the Diesel Island. I go through the back, and then I end up around Denny's. And I fucking see him. He's like right in front of me. And I'm like, okay, let's just keep walking. Oh shit, let's just keep walking. And then he's all, hey bro. And I'm like, and he's all, you work here? And I'm like, no. And I started running, dude. I fucking ran. What the fuck? And I'm like, he's at Denny's. So Big Mama hears, and they're like, oh, he's at Denny's. So CHP fucking runs over there. And I'm like, he's over there. Fucking CHP goes over there. They're like, who is he? There's a bunch of people at Denny's, so who the fuck is it? And then fucking the CHP officer's like, he knew my name by this time. He's like, Danny, who is he? Where is he? And I'm like, and then like he ended up like walking out. I'm like, that guy right there. So they ended up fucking getting that guy. I don't know if they got the other people. They arrested the guy. Who knows where the fuck he's in? I've never seen him in my life again.
I probably did like 2 hours in county, and they just let him out.
No.
Bro, they pulled out so much shit from their car.
Yeah,
oh, really?
They said it was
hella more money.
It was more than what they thought.
Damn.
More money, and I believe there was guns on top of the hood.
Uh-huh.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it was more than what he was expecting. I think the CHP officer.
Did you get any recognition, Danny, by CHP?
Nah, fuck no. Actually,
Medal of
it's
Honor
fucking. Sometimes it's fucking crazy. Another CHP officer came, and when he saw me, he was barely coming in. He saw me when I was talking to the guy, or like when the guy was talking to me. And then he came straight up and he's like, I saw this guy talking to him. And I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, I'm the one that fucking called him. I'm like, yeah, dude, like I'm the one that fucking told this guy to stop. But yeah, back to the point. Right now, that sounds really stupid of me to do that, of like going around by myself or whatever. But then I don't know why it's a thing that we did, or apparently Mario still does it.
Yeah, it's a personal thing, dude.
It is a personal thing.
Somebody stealing from you, you're gonna fucking stop it, dude.
Yeah. If they can't kick your ass.
All right. So, hey, okay. So kind of going back on track to what we were talking about. So we were talking about, hey, kind of the whole trucking industry, the pros and cons to it, what it kind of takes to it. Before we kind of jump into your life at Pilot, like what would you say to somebody that's kind of looking into going into the trucking industry? Like, would you say like, hey, what advice would you give them?
A lot of people have asked me, dude, and honestly, like, this is the way I put it, right? Whenever I went into trucking, I needed money, right? So I didn't have no money, like, saved up, nothing. So I had my dad, and my dad helped me out a lot, dude. And, you know, he let me borrow money whenever I needed it. But so if you're the guy that doesn't really have any money and you're trying to go into it, I'd say probably don't do it. But, you know, if you do have a really good savings account and, you know, you're prepared, and I think prepared, you probably have to have about freaking 30 to 40,000, honestly, to start and be able to go off on your own, just because it depends. You know, with my uncle, it was you wouldn't get paid for like 5 weeks, dude.
This is as owner operator, though, right?
Owner operator, yeah. Like 5 weeks, he wouldn't pay you until your 5th week. So, dude, you had to have 4 weeks worth of diesel, which is about fucking $15,000 to $20,000 just for diesel.
Damn.
And then you have to have, you know, to start up and then to start up your business too by yourself. I'm talking about like insurance and permits and all that. it's hard, dude. Like, I never opened up my actual business, like DOT number and all that, because it was like ridiculous, dude. Like, when I first started, they wanted to charge me like for insurance, like fucking $4,000 a month, because I was new. Like, I was how old was I? Probably like
26,
23. I don't know.
23.
I don't know what the fuck how old I was, but I was young, so, and I was new to truck driving, so the insurance was like ridiculous. Like, it was like, bro, that I ain't gonna make nothing with that. You know what I mean? Like, all of it's gonna go to the insurance. So what my cousin was able to do, she was able to get me under my dad. So I'm basically under my dad's DOT numbers as a driver. That's what I was in, and that's the only way I was able to do it, dude. Because if not, my insurance would have been through the roof. So that's another thing. If you're gonna start off all on your own, first figure out what your insurance is going to look like. So figure that out first, and if it's something you can live with, go ahead. But it's going to be fucking expensive, dude. It's hard to start because and let me tell you one other thing that probably a lot of people don't know. If you have 10 years as a driver, like you have 10 years, or I don't know how many years do you have with your license?
3.
Okay. Let's say you had 5 years, right? And you think, I have 5 years experience. When you go to become an owner operator and try to get your own DOT numbers, the insurance doesn't take those 5, 3, whatever years into account. They're not like, oh, well, this guy's been a driver for 5 years now. They're like, this is your first year as a business owner.
No way.
Yeah, dude. It's like they don't care. Like, that doesn't count. It's just your first year as your own business. So, you might go and think, oh, I've had my license for 5, 10 years, but I've been working for a company. Like, I'll go in as an owner operator and my insurance will be, cheap because I have experience. Like, nah, dude.
That's not the case. Fuck.
No. So, yeah, I mean, figure out what your insurance is probably the biggest thing, dude. Insurance, because it's ridiculous, dude. Like, when I left, I had that where I hit that fucking light pole.
Yeah.
That made my insurance go up like fucking more than 50%, bro. I was paying like $700-800 on my white truck, and then when I got this truck, it went up to like fucking $1,000 a month. But before I wouldn't have to put a down payment. Our down payment was $4,500 for me and my dad. So we'd pay that every year at the beginning of our cycle. So it would be like fucking oh shit, somebody's writing quotes.
We in the ghetto. Ra-ta-ta-ta.
So yeah, it was too much, dude. Like, me and my dad would go halves on the down payment. So let's say like what, $2,200 for my down payment, and then like $1,000 every month after that. Like, fuck that, dude.
Damn.
It was crazy.
Holy shit.
So yeah, I'd say if you have the funds, dude, and you have the connection to have a job where you're gonna be making good money right away, like, go for it, dude. I mean, I'm not saying it's not working, because if it didn't work for me, it's not gonna work for anybody else. Like, it could, dude. I mean, my cousins are successful, dude. My cousin Pepe, he has 3 trucks. So he has his own personal truck, is like a badass Peterbilt, and then he has 2 trucks that he has drivers on.
But they've also had help along the way, right?
Well, his dad is the one that started the business, so yeah. I guess but he's done everything kind of on his own. I mean, his dad just gave him like the keys, basically, like, and he's done it all, dude. Because
even with that kid that's on TikTok, Alex Nino or whatever, he works for his uncle and stuff. Even though he's making it big, or he's doing well for himself, I just feel like people along the way are kind of like, I don't know, they get help along the way, and they make it seem like they did it on their own. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's just like, hey, you need help. You need that help to kind of get to where you're trying to get.
Yeah, you gotta have, like, dude, that's the main thing, is having a work connection. Like, know where, if you're gonna work somewhere, like, don't go in to get your license and quit your fucking job because you're like, oh, once I get my license, I got a job. Like, if you don't, then don't do that, bro. Make sure you have a connection for. You fucking went to Panela, though, no?
Yeah, but I mean, I fucking quit Red Bull, and I was just like, I'm gonna go get my license. I had no idea what the fuck I was gonna do. So don't do that.
Your mortgage is like $600.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess you're right, but still. But yeah, no, for sure, man. So hey, okay, we're kind of going away from the trucking industry. You kind of explained on what all the things that kind of led you away from it. So what enticed you to go back to pilot? I mean, you left pilot for a reason. You weren't getting paid the proper amount. What made you like, hey, let me fucking go back? Yes. It's like going back to an ex, bro. Who does that?
Yeah, so when I was with pilot, dude, I actually liked being a manager, dude. I mean, like, I enjoyed my job. I liked it. It was different every day. Some days it'd be smooth as hell. Some days you deal with all these problems that happen at work. You guys know about some of them, but Yeah, I left because I wasn't getting paid enough, you know. If not, I would have probably still stayed there, because when I left, I was an assistant manager, and my goal was to have my own store, you know, like Big Mama, like, you know, Jose Jimenez back then. And I was working under Jose Jimenez, and he told me, oh yeah, you know, we're gonna try to get you your own store, him along with the regional. But then, so the regional we had back then, he fucking what? The regional we had back then, he got fired. It was Brian Cairns.
Oh,
remember?
no way.
So he was the one that like fucking uplifted me, right? And you know, said like, oh, you're gonna be a GM within like 6 months to a year. I was like, hell yeah. And then we had a new regional because he got fired. So this new regional came in, and basically you got to prove yourself to him, you know. He's not going to be like, oh, he said in 6 months. All right, well, yeah, in 6 months. Like, nah, he has to see what you're about, right? So I'm like, fuck, man. Like, I just had my second kid. Like, am I going to be able to fucking make it off this for another year, you know? Like I wanted it for another year or two, because I don't know how long it's going to take for him to, you know, trust me. So that's why I left, dude, because I didn't want to have to prove myself to somebody else again. So I was like, I ended up leaving. And yeah, and that was, but I liked working there, you know. So whenever I went back, the reason I went back was because I couldn't find another job, and I wanted to get out of trucking, right? So whenever I was job searching, I was applying at all these jobs, and I actually looked at Pilot a few times before, but there was no openings like in my area, you know. Like, dude, I live 2 minutes from a Pilot right here in Tulare, so I was like searching and hoping that something would pop up. But just nothing was popping up. Like no like assistant manager position. So like, I'm not gonna go and work as a, you know,
Shift lead.
Yeah, for 40 hours. I need overtime. That's what makes you more money. So yeah, I ended up looking up. It was after I had my interview with that trucking job here in Visalia, the sand and gravel one. Bro, I thought I had that job. Well, I did have that job if I wanted it, right? That job, like, they made it sound like fucking it was the best. So when I applied for that job in Visalia, it was through like a recruiter. And this recruiter hit me up, and, you know, we're texting, and he would call me like, oh, no, yeah, you know, we'd love to have you on. You know, you're going to start at 21, whatever, but in 3 months you go up to 22 something. And it sounds low, but, you know, we give you, for sure, you get overtime, whatever you want. And then on your Monday through Fridays, Saturdays, if you want to work, it's overtime. So, you know, they're making it sound
enticing.
I was like, you know what? I did the math. I'm like, damn, it's a low number, but if I do work this overtime, like I'll make ends meet, you know? So I was like hella happy, bro. And then whenever finally he's like, yeah, go to the interview with your with the actual branch manager. So I'm like, because it's like a company that has like, I don't know, 6-7 different locations, and they have some in Arizona too or whatever. So then I go to the interview, and I'm like, you know, thinking like, hell yeah, you know, like it's gonna work out. So I go, and then this guy like fucking meets me or whatever. He's like, hey, you know, how's it going? I hadn't talked to this guy at all. It was just all through the recruiter, right? So then this guy, I'm like, hey, he's like, right away, he's like, all right, so here's the thing, man. He's like, I just want to be upfront with you. You know, right now we're a little slow. And I'm like, what the fuck, bitch? Like, I just heard the opposite. He's like, we're a little slow. So I just don't want you to come on here thinking that, you know, you're going to get all these hours. Like, and I'm like, yeah, well, I mean, the guy told me that, you know, we could work Saturdays, like they're optional. Like, he's like, honestly, we haven't worked any Saturdays this year. Like, we're pretty slow, and then during the winter time it slows down. So he's like, if you're looking for something that's year round, like in a, you know, a lot of hours, like this is probably not for you. He's like, I'd love to have you on, you know, somebody with your experience. Like, I'd love to have you here, because, you know, I had been driving for 6 years, and I kind of had experience with, I had loaded there. It's where they load compost and stuff. So I mean. So he was like, yeah, you know, I'd love to have you on if you want to, if that's something that sounds good for you. Like, we're a good company. Like, you know, if you need days off, like, we don't mind at all, blah, blah. Made it sound hella badass. He's like, but if you're looking for something that's, you know, you're going to be offered more overtime and all that, like, this place is, I'm not going to lie to you. And I'm like, well, nope. So, and I just left, like, kind of bummed out, bro, because I'm like, damn, bro, I just hit another wall, you know, like, damn, what do I do now? So then I leave there. Literally, bro, right when I leave, I go back. I'm like, fuck, I haven't looked at the Pilot website in a while. I was like, so I go to Pilot, you know, to look for a job. And I look at openings in my area. And then there's this one that comes up for Huron, California, for an assistant manager. And I'm like Huron, that's not that far. Let me see how far it's from my house. So I look it up, and it's like 50 minutes. So I'm like, that's not bad. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, let me see. So I open up the ad, right? how much they get paid and all that. The range was 26 to 34. So I'm like, damn, like that's a lot fucking better than what I was making when I left, right? So I'm like, damn, this doesn't sound bad. And I know you work 50 hours. So I'm like, I know you get overtime for sure. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to text Jose, like, because Jose Jimenez, he was my general manager back in Patterson. And not that we stayed in touch, but like he would text me every birthday, like still. Like, he probably had it like on his phone. So every birthday, oh, Mario, ¿cómo estás? You know, feliz cumpleaños, like blah, 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 right?
And he's a regional now?
He's a regional now. So I didn't even know that, right? Actually, yeah, I think Santi had told us about it, right? But I didn't know for what region. Like I just knew he was a regional. So anyways, when I seen that, right away I just texted him. I was like, let me text him. I'm like, hey, what's up, Jose? Hope you're doing well. You know, like, I seen there's an opening on in Avenal, Huron, same thing. And I was like, in Huron, you know, I'm kind of interested. And I was like, let's see if he even replies, bro. He replied literally within 3 minutes, bro. He replies right away. Hey Mario, I'm doing well. You know, like, yeah, there is an opening. Let me know if you're interested. I'm like, oh shit, this is for real. You know, I'm like, damn. So I'm like, oh fuck, what do I say? And I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. I'm like, hey, yeah, I am. I'm like, yeah, I'm interested for sure. I'm like, give me an interview, like, you know. So then he calls me and I'm like, oh shit. So he called me. I'm like, hey, what's up? He's like, hey, so ¿qué pasó? And I was like, nah, ya acabé con la pinche troqueada. You know, I was like, I'm done with the trucking. I was like, you know, is there an opening? He's like, yeah. He's like, you know what? You called me at the right time. That he told me he was about to send an offer letter to somebody because they were hiring for that position for like the last month. He's like, I was about to send an offer letter. He's like, but I'd rather have you on here. So can you come for an interview? And I was like, yeah, let me know. Just let me know when. He's like, come tomorrow at 9 a.m. I was like, all right. So, and I just texted my boss from Chowchilla, the guys I was working for at that time. And I was like, hey, you know, like, I'm not going to be able to, tomorrow I'm going to go in late because I have an interview over here. And those fools, they were hella cool with everything, bro. So, yeah, I go to the interview and I didn't know this guy, the Dustin guy. I interviewed with him and it went really well, bro. Like, fuck, it was crazy because, like, he interviewed me. He was super laid back. Think about, like, Big Mama, but, like, on crack, bro. Like, Big Mama's already, like, you know, hella outgoing. Well, this guy was, like, more, dude. Like, cussing in front of me, cussing in front of the customer. Like, kind of weird, but made me feel more, like, not nervous.
Yeah.
So, yeah, interview went well. And he basically, like, and he's like, hey, I'm supposed to give you an RJP. You know.
What is an RJP? Realistic job preview,
yeah. So you get to, I was like, what is, I knew what it was. I just didn't know what that. And he was like, yeah, you know, he's like, I'm supposed to give you one for like an hour, but if you want, you could go home, or if you want to go and meet the crew, you know, go ahead, do whatever you want to do. I was like, well, the right thing I'm supposed to do is like go meet him. You know, if I say like, all right, I'm going home, when, you know, so I was like, no, yeah, like I'll go meet him, you know. So it was kind of awkward at first because they see me and I'm just like, how do I go and approach somebody? So I just go and I'm like, oh, how you doing? I'm Mario, blah, blah, blah. And like, dude, every single employee that was there that day was Hispanic, dude. Like, I guess Avenal's like a super Hispanic community, mm-hmm. right? So I go and I'm like, you know, a couple of them, like I knew their primary language was Spanish. So I start talking in Spanish. Like, oh, you know. And then I start talking to the RSS girl and she was hella cool. And I was like, yeah, I did RSS for this long, blah, blah, blah. Bro, it was
What's
cool.
RSS?
Retail sales specialist.
Oh, all right.
And then, so I talked to her for a bit and then she's like, yeah, no, blah, blah, blah. And then I go on the register and I'm like, hey, could I do the register? He's like, technically you're not supposed to. He's like, but I'm not looking. I was like, let me see how it is, right? Because it's been fucking, 6 years? Bro, exactly the same, bro. It's like riding a fucking bike. I go on there, you know, whenever you fucking tap the side for whatever reason. Yes. Bro, I did it. And I did it like, whatever. And he just started laughing. And I'm like, bro, this is like riding a bike. And he's like, yeah, I could see that you work for Pilot doing that thing on the side or whatever. I'm like, yeah. Anyways, it went well, bro. After that, I was like, all right, well, you know, I'm going to head out and I'll talk to Jose. I'll call Jose or whatever. Or he said Jose will call you or something. So yeah, I leave and I'm like, all right, cool. Like everything went well. So then Jose called me. He's all happy, you know, blah, blah, blah. After that, Jose's like, all right, now, you know, you're going to have an interview with HR. And I'm like, oh, shit. Like, you know, so now I have to do a phone interview with HR. I'm like, damn, I don't know what to expect. So then...
And is that the first time you realized, okay, this is different than the first time around?
Yeah. Like it was more like, yeah, the company changed a lot, dude, because of the new owner. But yeah, so then the HR interview is going to be like the next day, right? And then I'm all nervous and the fucking, the recruiter, not Jose, but there's like another guy that's like a recruiter. And this guy calls me. He's like, hey, what's up, Mario? Jose wanted me to give you a call. He's like, we didn't have this conversation. but he basically gives me like an outline of what the questions are gonna be, bro.
Oh,
He's like,
that's just solid.
he's like, just practice some. He's like, practice what you would answer. And I was like, hell yeah. So with Ed's help, Ed's the one I was talking to a lot about during when I was trying to find a new job. So Ed was like, yeah, like answer this, answer that, ask for this much pay, don't be stupid. So shout out to Ed.
Thank you.
But dude, as I was driving, because I was still truck driving during all this, and on my notes, bro, I had like fucking big old paragraphs of what I would answer for the question. I was prepared, bro. And then the day of, it's like it was scheduled for like 4 p.m. specific as time, right? And I'm like, all right, they're gonna call me at 4 p.m. So I'm driving, and I'm gonna load at Penny Newman. Penny Newman, bro, usually you get there and you're in and out. Like, it's pretty fast to load there, right? So I'm like, I'm gonna get to Penny Newman at fucking 2:30, I think it was, right? So I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, dude. Like, it's perfect. I'll get to Penny Newman. I'll be out of there by 3. I'll drive to where I'm going to go and load, because where I was going to go and load was like 20 minutes away. I was like, I'll get there like at fucking 3:30. I'll park at the dairy. Like, nobody will bother me, and I'll just take the call at 4. So I get there at 2:30, right? Go in, bro. Everybody was like, they were on lunch. I don't know, for whatever fucking reason, dude. I took forever. I was all messaging it. I was like, bro, what the fuck? Like, they're not loading me. It was already like, it was like 3:30, bro. Still nobody. Finally, at 3:45, the guy comes to load me, dude. And I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, I was like, dude, if he doesn't come by 3:45, I'm going to leave the line and I'm going to go park somewhere in the facility, right? Anyways, he shows up at 3:45, fucking loads me. When they load you, it's quick. Boom, 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 loaded me. I was over, bro, on my weight. So then I had to go back to dump. I'm all fucking stressed out. I'm like, dude, hella dumping. It's 350. And I'm like, 350, 355. I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna go back on the scale. I'm gonna just go to park somewhere. So I drive and I park somewhere, like where I know nobody will go ask me anything, right? And I just park, and then it's like, fucking about to be 4, and then at 4, boom, she calls me, and she was like, hey, this is whatever, and she's like, I'm not even gonna ask you any of the behavioral questions because Jose already knows you. It's just more just to get to know you, for me to get to know you. And I was like, hell yeah. So basically, bro, all she asked me was like, tell me about yourself, your hobbies. That's pretty much, and pay at the end. But it was a super easy interview, and I feel like I did hella good on it, dude. So it ended or whatever, and she's like, all right, cool. And then Jose calls me all happy. He's like, hey, congratulations. You had a really good interview with HR. And I was like, hell yeah, So, yeah, bro. Then fucking after that, it was just more, we talked about pay, agreed on a number, and then, yeah, just started my training. He's like, when do you want to start training? I was like, it was like the week before Labor Day weekend, or Labor Day, September. And I was like, it's perfect. I have a Labor Day camping trip planned with the family. So I was like, I'll go on that camping trip, get back on Monday, and then Tuesday I'll go start my training. So I told Jose that plan. He's like, yeah, sounds like a plan. So set it up, and yeah, been back with Pilot since September 2nd.
Yeah. Hey, so this kind of has nothing to do with what we're doing, but did your seniority date stay the same?
No, dude. I'm an idiot, though. So
you could have asked for that, huh?
Yes. That could have been part of my negotiation. And I bet you they would have given it to me, bro, because, yeah, I didn't ask for it. And I just thought, like, maybe they will give it to me, because whenever I got hired, like on all my paperwork, my employee number stayed the same.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah. So when my employee number stayed the same, I was like, oh, shit, maybe it is going to count, like, it's not, I'm not like a new employee number, right? So I was like, hell yeah, And then the handbook, I went through, it's like a little bit different now, like the vacation time and all that. So I was like, hell yeah, bro, I'll have fucking like 4 or 5 weeks of vacation pay now, because I did 6 years with the company, and then I left, but then I'm starting again. So if they could start me at 6 years, that'd be solid, And you fucking distracted me right now.
Sorry.
What was I saying?
No, the handbook. You went through the handbook, and you forgot.
I forgot.
Okay.
It's this third beer. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Okay, so so you're back at Pilot. Everything's going smooth. Is that a decision that you're like, hey, I'm glad I made this decision, because I know you have to sacrifice, like you said, hey, you haven't worked Christmas or Christmas Eve in God knows how long, right? 10 years. But do you feel...
We're talking about negotiating. I just remembered.
Oh, here we go.
I did not negotiate to start my tenure, right? At 6 years. Seniority.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I basically started at year 1, so I have no paid time off right now.
Oh, okay.
Until the 90 days is whenever 5 days of sick pay get on.
Yeah, but then you still have to. You're only accumulating so much because you had to. After the 5th year is when it goes back up, right?
Yeah, and then so when I was training, dude, I trained in Castaic, and the GM there, she's hella cool, and we're talking. I was like, yeah, you know, like I was hoping my fucking I would start off at 6 years again to get my vacation. She's like, you're a dumbass. She's like, you should have negotiated that. She's like, my wife is retarded too. She doesn't know how to negotiate either. And she's like,
you to a woman.
she's like, you should have negotiated that when you were getting hired on. Like, I guarantee you they would have gave it to you. Like, just started you back on there. But yeah, I didn't negotiate that, bro. I was like, whatever. But yeah, like Jose took care of me, bro. So I was just kind of happy to just be back on. I was just like, whatever, you know.
Yeah, no, for sure. It sounds like it went really well for you. I mean, out of all the other options that all the walls that you were kind of running into, dude, this was a nice little exit route that you kind of took, and it seemed like it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, and I think it all goes back to just, you know, not burning any bridges, bro. Like I mean, I've only worked. It's crazy. I've only had 2 interviews my whole life. One was with Big Mama, if you want to count it as a fucking interview, and then one was with this guy Dustin. That's it, dude. Like I didn't have I've only worked for one company, really. You know, that's why I tell them, and everybody thinks that's kind of crazy. But I started with Pilot when I was 18 as a freaking cashier working graveyard, and then I did my own business thing, and then I went back to Pilot, and that's it, dude. So yeah, I'm happy to be back, bro. He took care of me, so I'm kind of committing now, like. Whenever the whole city hit me up, and I was like, fuck. And I told my wife, I'm like, you know what? Like, it'd be wrong for me to, like, leave, you know? Like, you know, I'm just, he's helping me out. And by the way, we talked about it, and, like, so the plan is now Jose told me he's the regional now. Oh, so I didn't even say that. So Jose replied to me right away and all that, because now he's the regional, and that happened to be a store in his region. Ooh. So it was kind of like fucking, you know, it just happened to work out. But yeah, he told me, he's like, you know, like, you know, you were about to get your store back in Patterson, but you ended up leaving. But, you know, the plan is to just bring you on. And in six months to a year, like, I plan to get you your own store. Or no, 1 to 2 years, sorry, 1 to 2 years. And I was like, that's solid. You know, if I got to sacrifice a little bit of time for a year for the long run.
And when you say that he's going to, you know, you're going to get a store and you're training to get your own store, is he talking about somewhere close to Tulare, or is that something that you're going to have to wait and see?
Yeah, well, it's something that I've talked about it with my wife, and it's kind of like, it's kind of a sore subject because we don't want to leave from here. Like, you know, we both like it here. She loves the school for the kids and all that. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to move away from Tulare, but if the situation comes up and, you know, everything's right, the money's right, I mean, it's ultimately what we're going to have to do. I mean, I told myself, like, I'm willing to commute, like, an hour and 15 minutes. If it's anything more than that, I probably wouldn't commute. We'd have to just move. But within an hour and 15 minutes, there's a lot of not a lot, but there's a few locations that, you know, I kind of have in mind.
There's more locations than there was when we were there.
Yeah.
At one point, right?
Yeah. So I guess we'll just see what happens with that.
Okay, so I mean, kind of just bringing everything to light and kind of just a conclusion. So, I mean, for somebody that's kind of going through this and you know, wants to, you know, go a different path, like what advice would you give them? Because I mean, obviously this sounded like it was pretty tough for you.
Going a different path, what? Like
career path? Yeah, you went from like, hey, I'm trucking, like, hey, and then going back into something that you thought you were going to do for the rest of your life, but you're like, hey, no, I kind of want to go back into it. Like, what advice would you give somebody?
I'd say just go with your gut, and then just, you know, just do what makes you happy, you know, don't do it for the money. I think do it like something you like, because if, like, I did trucking, and I'm not going to say I hated it, but, you know, it wasn't something I liked, you know. It was just kind of like, you know, it was cool. It got me to get this house out that I have, and, you know, it was nice, but it's not something I enjoyed doing. And managing, I always enjoyed it, dude. I mean, fucking since the beginning, I just always kind of liked the whole retail and the business stuff. Like, so it was something I went back to doing something that I like doing, you know. So yeah, just do what you like to do. Do what makes you happy.
All right. I think that's pretty good said, man. I like that. Danny, you want to close it out?
Yep. Well, thank you very much for having us. Thank you for being on the podcast. Thank you for hosting Friendsgiving.
Let's go make some carnitas.
Carnita time.
Ciao.
Everybody that shares the podcast on Mondays, thank you very much. You know who you are. I
don't share it.
Yeah, you're going to share it this Monday.
I got you.
If you guys want to help us out one way or another, the best way you could help us out is sharing our Instagram post on Mondays. I think that would be a huge help, spreading the word. Those of you that have reached out and said that you know of somebody that's interested in being the podcast, thank you very much. Be patient with us. We will get to those people and put them on the schedule.
And keep them coming, though. Keep them coming,
Yeah.
because we love this. I love getting those DMs. I'm like, hey, you know what? I think somebody would be great for your podcast. And I'm like, it's exciting. So it's another way to kind of spread the word.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, awesome.
That
Well
being
said,
said,
Danny.
thank you very much.
Oh, yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank you,
It was
everyone.
fun.
All right. We'll see you
I
guys
got a
next
buzz
time.
with like 2.5 beers,
I know.
but it helped me get through it.
Weakling.
I
But
need to pee.
yeah, everyone, thank you for the podcast, and we'll catch you on the next one.